Wow, you know, vlogging is a lot harder than I thought. Well, can't believe, but we're finally starting. Just taking my first steps onto the trail. Left my wife and my hound dog right there at the top of the trail, and we're on our way. Talking's done, and it's time to put up or shut up. And right now I have to pay a little bit of attention or I'm gonna fall in the little stream that's formed down here after the last few days of rain. But today, absolutely gorgeous. Temperatures just below 50 Fahrenheit, mid-40s I guess. No wind, partly cloudy skies. I got to the monument this morning to kick off. I was expecting a big group of hikers, maybe a big group to have even started before us. But all there was one trail angel, Jay, who's doing a survey and working with the PCTA. And he tells me that nobody's been through this morning. And when I signed the trail register, that was in fact the truth. So I'm the first and only person starting to hike this early in the morning today. It's about 7:45, 7:40 or so. And so I'm really nervous about this. I've never done anything like this in my life. But as nervous as I am, I'm also that excited, that happy to be out here and giving this a try. Backpack feels a little heavier than I was expecting, but that weight will go down throughout the day. So I'll put this camera down for now and wait till I get a little bit more acclimated to my hiking and all of my gear, and then hopefully I'll be filming a little bit more as we go. I hope all of you enjoy this trip and you get to feel like you've been out here yourself, and even though you don't have to hike it, you can at least see what it's all about, the good and the bad. Is finally Jay, the trail angel, asked me if I was doing a through hike, and all I can say is today I'm doing a day hike, and if it goes well, I'll get up tomorrow morning and I'll do another day hike, and I'll just keep doing that as long as I can. All right, been hiking for almost an hour now. As you can see, I already lost my hat. It's a little overcast and it's cool, but even as cool as it is, I clearly am not wearing a jacket, not suffering for that. So about an hour in and about 3 miles along the journey. No big surprises yet. The pack's a little heavier than I expected, and I guess the only equipment issue is that I haven't got my pack mounted quite right. There's too much load on my shoulders instead of my hips. So not too far down the road here, I'm gonna take measures to change that. I never did really say why I was doing this hike, because people always ask me, and heck, I don't know, because it's there. But when I came down here, I had a few surprises. The first one was driving through a small blizzard in Victorville in the high desert. I didn't really expect that here in California, and I haven't really expected the amount of rain that we've gotten either. But the trail is just drying out a bit. It's muddy in places, but that's interesting. Now, the bigger surprise was a few days after I arrived in Southern California. My older sister Sandy, who went through cancer treatment a few years ago for colon cancer, she just found out that she now has a throat cancer, stage 3. It's a pretty rare form of cancer, and today she's going to start a very, very aggressive treatment for that, involving 5 days of radiation therapy a week, plus 1 day of chemo. And she's got to do that for 7 weeks. Now, Sandy is a pretty small woman, probably about 90 pounds, but pound for pound, she's the toughest woman I ever met, I think. And I would say the odds don't favor the cancer on this one. I don't think it really knows what it got hold of yet. But hopefully she'll get through that. I'll be thinking about her. They say the worst part of it's going to be in 2 weeks. So I'm actually considering taking a brief hiatus from the trail in 2 weeks, if I'm not already entirely off of it by then, to go see my sister for a couple of days and then get back out here. I certainly want to do the whole trail. I realize that what she's going through is a big challenge, and so I'm going to use that as a bit of inspiration to do this trail here and take on this challenge, which certainly is nothing compared to what she's facing. Finally, I want to give a big happy birthday to my mom today. Unfortunately, the day I started the trail, my mom turned 90, and I can't be with her. But happy birthday, Mom. Miss you and love you, and hope to see you soon. Okay, we're about, well, not quite 5 miles in. As promised, I took a short break back up the trail. One of my big weaknesses is I'm a pretty impatient person, and sometimes I hike too long without taking a break. I'll get blisters on my feet when I should be stopping now and again to check them and make sure they're okay. But I'm prone to different injuries and stuff due to basically stupidity directly associated with impatience. So I decided that, given the fact that I still have 2,645 miles to go, it would be a very good idea to just stop and check out what was going on with my pack, why my shoulders were hurting like they were. And when I did it, it became pretty obvious that the straps that adjust my shoulder lifters had, the edges of them had slid off the padded shoulder strap and were just cutting into my shoulder. So I adjusted that, put my pack back on, and voila, I'm a new man, and the hike is just seeming pretty easy right now. I gotta admit, I mean, this is just perfect today. There's just nobody on the trail. I haven't run into a soul, and at the pace I'm going, I'm not likely to run into anybody. I might have one or two pass me up, some of the young kids, but I haven't seen anybody. And I've enjoyed the quiet. I've enjoyed the scenery. And I hope this keeps going for a while. So the other thing I'm doing, in spite of my impatience, is I am forcing myself to drink fluids now and again. And I've had a few bites of M&Ms. It's a dual blessing, keeps me hydrated, keeps my calories up, and it lightens my backpack every time I do it. So that is something that's gonna probably convince me to be more sensible along the way. So far so good. And Eureka, my first stream crossing in the books. Again, we're not far into the hike. This is around 5 miles in or so, but found a nice little brook, and if we have water like this on the whole trail, well, that's going to be super. I'm not going to have to worry about carrying so much water. I suspect it won't hold, but we're going to get more rain over the next few days, and there's a good chance that there will be plenty of water. Okay, it's getting around 2 o'clock. I've gone a little over 13 miles. I have to go down this side of this canyon to pass some power lines somewhere, and then I make a big V and come back this way, and I believe that that is the trail you can see going up in the distance over there, and then heading on up that way and on up over there. So my objective is to get down to the bottom there. It's a place called Hauser Creek. Maybe take a little break because I need it. And then I'm going to try to head up that trail to get up to the top of the mountain and camp out on the top. They say it's not as cold as sleeping down in the low areas because the cold air settles in there. And I should have a nice view of Lake Morena up there, but clearly it's going to be a long and arduous climb. I've got probably a good 4 miles to go from here to get up to the top of that mountain. So, best quit talking and start walking. I'm at 16.5 miles on the trail right now. Pretty worn out. Didn't quite make it over this mountain, but I found that this is a tent space here that I'm going to set up in. That's going to take a while because I'm going to have to sit down and rest before I do it. Just pan out this way to the right. You can see my view out the bedroom window tonight. Pretty impressive, but anyway, I gotta start setting up. All right, got our little house tent up, set up for the night. First night out on the trail. I can't wait to get in it and lay down. Well, I'm ready to call it a day. I got the tent set up. It was a really good day with a few surprises. Not too many, and certainly not too many bad surprises. My shoulder straps on the backpack gave me a little bit of trouble early. The backpack was really heavy with the water and the food. I took care of that in the course of the day. But I was able to take the backpack off and adjust the straps a few times until I eventually got it about right. I think if I keep tinkering with it, it'll get better. But the issue seems to be with getting the load lifters adjusted just right on it. The other big surprise was that there was nobody on the trail today. I had one young couple, 20-ish something couple, pass me by like I was standing still about 8 miles into my hike. And then a little later, I ran into Grandpa, who is an older gentleman. He was stopped at about the 10-mile position and frankly didn't look like he was doing that great. The first words out of his mouth were that he had left on the 9th. So that was 3 days ago, and in 3 days he's managed to go 10 miles. Now, one of those days it was raining a lot and got his tent wet and he was trying to dry it out, but he's not making fast progress, and I ended up giving him a half liter of water because he was running short on water, and I seemed to have enough. But having said that, for the day I used most of my water. I hiked a little over 16 miles. The last mile and a half or so were very uphill, and it was just exhausting by the time I got here and set everything up. All I can do is just lay down now. I don't even want to think about cooking dinner because I'm just too tired. So I'll take it a little bit easier going forward. I know I can't hold up to that pace right now. Over time, I expect that my body will adapt and adjust, and I'll get stronger and I'll be able to log more miles. Still, I'm pretty pleased with 16 plus miles for the first day. I'm located just probably 2, 3, 4 miles out of Lake Morena right now. It's just over the hill from here. So I'm going to sleep in the morning, take my time packing up till I get used to all my gear, and then take a leisurely stroll into Lake Morena, do my computer work, upload some video and some photos that I shot, and maybe get a good meal and maybe just relax and then try to get back out on the trail and knock down a similar number of miles tomorrow. Maybe not quite as many, certainly with more breaks in between. I hope you're enjoying this. I hope I'm doing something to make you feel like you're a part of it. And having people behind me out there watching the videos is certainly a motivation for me. I want to make these videos in a way that you can enjoy them. So feel free to leave any comments with suggestions and I'll wrap those in. Meanwhile, day 1 is down. Night 1 is coming up. By tomorrow, I will have finished 1% of the trail. Woohoo! And I'm not looking forward to how far I'm going so much, but I like to celebrate little successes. They're also a bit motivational. Okay, that's it. I'll catch you a little later. Well, it's about 10 a.m. on March 13th, lucky 13. I got back on the trail this morning before sunup. Well, I slept really good last night. I say I slept good. I slept a long time, tossed and turned a lot. But really, all in all, it was a very refreshing sleep. After 16 and a half miles yesterday, I'm going to target a similar distance today. I've already knocked out about 4 miles, and about 3 of those were in the dark because I got up quite early and started putting away one thing and then another, and before you know it, I decided I'd just go take myself a little hike. So today is my second day hike. I stopped in the town of Lake Morena, a beautiful little place called the Malt Shop. It's a grocery store with, it's got a little malt shop in it and breakfast place, good food. In addition to the little restaurant, they've got a comprehensive liquor store, and probably not surprisingly, an equally comprehensive set of painkillers. At any rate, I hung around there for a while. I was hoping to upload some videos, but the signal strength was pretty bad or slow or whatever. And every time I tried to load a video, it crashed. So I decided to move on down the road and we'll try again at Lake Laguna, which I expect to get to tomorrow. It's a bit unfortunate because we're expecting a lot of rain tonight. And so I guess I'm just gonna have to wait that out in my tent, pack up a wet tent tomorrow and hike on out. I've learned a lot already on the hike. I've learned that not all pain is gain, and not all miles are PCT miles. Sometimes the trail's not marked that good. You take a minor detour. Fortunately, I haven't taken any major detours. I quickly realized that I needed to turn around and go back. And then going off to little stores in town and the like, well, that's 0.3 miles each way that again aren't trail miles. So I've also learned a lot with my gear. I keep adjusting and acclimating. I've already learned a couple of clever tricks, and I'm happy about that. If I keep learning at this pace for a while, I'll probably survive. My body hurts a little, but not as bad as I was expecting, so that's a plus. At any rate, off to the general vicinity of Mount Laguna. It's only been a little over 1 day on the trail. I'm going to think of this as just chance. It may be an omen. Well, we're about 23.5 miles in. Yesterday on the way to the border, Cheryl and I drove over this bridge, so at least see some familiar places. I got a ways to go yet, so I'm gonna keep going. Okay, here we are. It's kind of early, but I've already set up my tent and gotten ready for the evening. I did that for a couple of reasons. One is it's supposed to rain tonight, and I wanted to make sure I had a good campsite, so I'm kind of under some trees and on a reasonably sloped place. To get to my next campsite, the one I'd kind of like to have gone to, it's 2 more miles up the road and 1,000 feet elevation gain, and I don't think I'm ready for that after yesterday. So I only did 15.5 miles today, not counting 0.6 miles in the town of Lake Morena to get what was a really good breakfast of ham, bacon, cheese, and a milkshake, vanilla milkshake. First time I had one of those in years, but I thought I could use the energy. Physically, I'm doing pretty good. I'm very, very tired. I haven't dared to look at the blister on my left toe. There's times when it hurts and times when I get by, so I don't think I've totally lost my toe yet, but I have to keep an eye on that. I'm still working on learning to take my breaks and make sure I get plenty of water. So I'm doing okay with that. I didn't eat as much food today, but the breakfast in Lake Morena made up for a little bit of that. I don't know if I'm going to have dinner tonight. I'm really not very hungry, and I mostly just want to get some rest. So it's still pretty early in the day. It's about 4 o'clock, and I set up my tent a little after 3, so I guess I'm just getting lazy. At any rate, I'll turn this thing off here and let you guys get some rest. Put out the campfire pretty soon, and we'll get ready to go again tomorrow. Hopefully just as well as we did today. I'm pleased so far.